a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And a pleasant good evening live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery here at 104 Southwest 2nd Street. This is the place to be all season long. When you think about how far back we started this with 0 week, we were just talking about football, and I said, ready or not, here it comes. And then all of a sudden we look up, it's halfway through the season, and now it's week 10. It is the final regular season game. We're going to talk about how teams are going to finish. We're going to talk about playoff possibilities and then the future, and we'll get those with our teams that are coming up next. But Gunnar is going to start off first representing Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys hosting us. You guys have been great hosts each and every Tuesday. Great barbecue, by the way, and I've asked Michelle this a time or two, and it's been a while since you've been on, so I'm going to ask you, on the menu, what is your go-to? What is your favorite?
So I would say for now it's still the brisket. It's the best thing that we have in my opinion. Everything's good, but everybody's got a favorite. And then now we started doing the cheddar habanero sausage as a link instead of sliced.
Okay.
And it's so good.
All right. I like that because, that's my favorite. That's kind of my go-to. I know Coach from Walters, Griffin, he's already got his pretzel. He said he's a bread man. He loves pretzels, and so he's a sucker for pretzels. So we'll talk about that too. We've been talking about all the great things that you had this past weekend. In fact, we've been gearing up for Halloween, and we've been talking about it for weeks. And then you had two events. You had one for a costume contest on Friday, and then you had the trunk or treat on Saturday for the kids. How was the weekend? How did the Halloween go?
It was fantastic. Getting to see everybody out in the community just participating with us, coming here, getting good food. Also, just having all ages is nice. You have everybody from 70, 80-year-olds all the way down to, 3-year-olds. Yeah. Dogs, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Just people getting together and having a good time.
I noticed we got dogs in the backyard over here. I'll call it the backyard, past the patio. And you got the fire pits up now, too.
Absolutely. With the cold weather rolling around, it's so nice, especially when we have the live music on the weekends.
Yeah.
Sit there by a fire, listen to music. It's perfect.
And you got some live music coming up Friday, Saturday. So who is coming on this weekend?
So we'll have Samantha Rose on Friday from 7 till about 10. And then same time on Saturday, it'll be John Crocker with us again.
Okay. And anything else you want to talk about food-wise or menu-wise? I know you guys have been doing different things. You're going to add some things, those kind of things?
Yep. So we're going to keep a lot of the stuff from the summer menu that was a big hit. Obviously, the loaded grilled cheeses, they sold like crazy. But then we'll also be bringing on a chili, so we'll have chili as its own thing, and then we'll also maybe even have a chili baked potato.
Wow, very nice. A chili baked potato. Now, I know you told me, and I finally had the baked potato, but you like it with, I know Michelle loves it with the macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
that
so good.
Homemade mac in the potato, and then you still get your meat that you put on top of it, so you can certainly get a home run with that. So we're so glad that you could be here with us with the Coaches Show, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We always say first come, first serve that comes up with us, and so the Walters Blue Devils will be first. They're our longest traveling team of the 5, and we'll take a timeout and be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
All right, we're at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, where you can join us each and every Tuesday for the Coaches Show. And, Coach, we're going to start with the Walters Blue Devils. And, Coach Griffin, I'll tell you, this season, it just, you've done it long enough where you can kind of say this as you get older. They just fly by.
Oh, yeah, every year I tell our kids, don't blink, it'll be over, and it does. Every year seems like it gets faster. And when you're coaching, the thing that I learned years ago, it's such a grind that there's such a routine that I can almost tell you at any given time throughout a week to the hour what I'll be doing, and that grind just makes it go by faster and faster. And we're here at week 10 at the end of the season, and it seemed like yesterday we were in 2 days. So
yeah, I know.
The older you get, the faster it goes.
I know. That's birthdays and Christmases and deer seasons and everything else like that. They just kind of all run together. Okay, so let's just talk about last week's game, what you came away with, that you can still kind of capitalize with one more effort of a regular season game. How did you break down that film?
Well, it's like I told our kids, and I got message after message on Saturday from people that were just really pleased with how our kids played. We fought hard. We felt like even at halftime we were, down one score, and we felt like we had Frederick on the ropes quite a bit, and our kids played really well. I was so proud of them. It's hard to get a teenager to buy into the idea that there's still purpose to play for and when things aren't going good. And our kids responded really well to that. And like I said, I was so proud of them after the game was over. I felt like we played a complete ball game there for the most part against a real good opponent. In the past 2 weeks, we don't even, and Coach Tyler said it from Frederick, we don't look like the same team we did week 1. And certainly had him scared at halftime. So, I'm pleased with our kids and their effort. We're getting better. The inexperience, we're starting to gain the experience we need. And it was a loss, but there was a moral victory there too. And like I said, there were a lot of people that just a lot of our fans and parents were all complimentary throughout the weekend on how well our kids played Friday night.
Oh, we're going to talk a little bit about Wynnewood here and breaking out as your last regular season game. But we talked about you. Inexperience, you mentioned it. You mentioned about graduating so many seniors last year, and you kind of had to get a new nucleus of some younger guys. You also had to get some guys that have never played before. So how would you evaluate, other people are telling you you're a different team from week 1. How would you like to best describe the evolution of where you were to where you are and where you'll be heading into next year?
Well, the way I feel like it, I felt like each week, even though class-wise they weren't freshmen, football-wise they were freshmen, I felt like we had, at any given time, 8, 9, 10 freshmen on the field experience-wise. I don't feel like that now, and just because of how well they progressed throughout the season and come along. And, I hate it for our seniors this year that it's turned out this way, but with what we've gained, and we're not graduating very many, so I'm kind of licking my chops, looking forward to next year already. So, and that's the thing. I'm wanting the last week, this week, the Stratford win to be building blocks for next year, and that'll kind of be the seniors' legacy. And we said our motto at the beginning of the year was going to be brick by brick and build this program back for longevity. And the seniors have done a great job for our team doing that.
Well, you even talked about trying to bring the youth program back as far as brick by brick building that program. How is that inroads going as far as the youth is concerned?
Well, I've got a couple of guys that I think I've got talked into taking that over. And if we can get that started, I'm going to be long retired by the time they get up there. But I'm a Blue Devil, and I want that program flourishing when I leave. And that's always been my motto, to leave things better than I found them. And that's why I want it to be. And we're going to work on building that grade school program, which will help the junior high program, which will help the high school program, and put Walters where it needs to be, back on top again.
All right, well, we're going to hold off on your comments about the matchup with Wynnewood, your final regular season game. We got a couple of players with us. So grab the mic, give us your name, give us your grade, and what position you play. No, it's on.
I'm Asher Dryden. I'm a sophomore, and I play O-line and defensive lineman.
Okay, you play both ways. Is there a favorite you like?
I kind of like offense more.
Do you? And why is that? Because a lot of guys will pick defense because they can tackle or they can hit. So why did you pick offense?
I like pass protecting.
Oh, you do?
I really like it.
All right.
He's got a great offensive line coach, too.
Okay, that kind of works out, a little elbow to elbow here.
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you like to improve going forward, since you're an underclassman, you're going to be back these next couple of years, and you have some time for weight training and all of that? What would you like to kind of emphasize with your play, how you would like to get better?
Moving my feet when I make contact with someone.
Okay.
I have a problem with stopping my feet as soon as I hit someone.
All right. Well, at least you're acknowledging it. Now you're going to try to work and build on that. What is your favorite food?
Probably chicken.
Chicken. Where do you get the best chicken around?
My grandma's.
Oh, your grandma's. Okay, good choice. All right. What is some of your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I like to play video games.
Okay, which one?
Right now it's college football.
Okay, and do you play any of your other guys on the team on that? Do you guys link
no,
up?
I'd get destroyed.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, I would.
Well, I mean, this is a first because everybody I've asked that plays video games say that they're the best on the team, and they open up the challenge. But you're not even going to walk in that.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
Okay, all right. Well, you could get better and skilled at that. Okay, you got a guy next to you. Grab the mic. You tell us your name, what grade, and what position you play.
My name's Logan Everett. I'm a junior, and I play offense and defense.
What has this year been like for you? I mean, you had some down to begin with, and you had a couple of wins that you kind of put under your belt. So, kind of define how this roller coaster year has been for you.
At first I was kind of nervous because I haven't played football in a long time.
Okay, you're one of those guys. Okay.
Guys.
How did you get recruited?
He came and asked me.
Okay, there you go.
Aren't you playing football?
Okay, there you go. He recruited the hallway well. Okay, that's good. That's good. And give me your position. I mean, you're both ways. Do you play both ways or just one?
Both ways.
Oh, both ways. And so, do you like offense or defense?
I like defense more.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's typically the answer we get. That was kind of unique that he picked offense. How would you still? You're going to come back for another year yet as a junior. How would you like to get better at what you are so you can be the best that you can be for next year?
I feel like if I spend more time analyzing film closer than I do now,
yeah,
I feel like I could pick up some things.
Yeah,
not just on myself, but from other teams.
Yeah, the film study is very, very important. What is your favorite subject in school?
I'm kind of a nerd. I like science.
Science, okay. What are you going to do with that science eventually? Anything? You're going to go into college afterwards, and what would you like to pursue?
I'd like to pursue wildlife management and
okay.
then become a game warden.
Okay, very nice, very nice. My son was a biology degree and a major there, and so that's what he was kind of looking into as well, so I can understand the fascination with that. Well, good luck the rest of the way, and of course, this last game against Wynnewood.
Thank you.
Okay. Coach, X's and O's on them. They are pretty much cinched the district, and so it's a battle-tested district. A lot of people have come to play with their game, and I know that with your success last year, as you were telling me, that Wynnewood is unfortunately the candidate that had to take a long bus ride, only to be turned around and said, oh, by the way, we're going to move you to Saturday, and it was a mosh pit. It was wasn't that the power outage where I think Walters lost power?
Yeah, it had rained all day long.
Right.
Actually all week. I mean, we practiced in just soup and slop, and our kids enjoyed it.
Right.
And
we got your Facebook picture is game day after that too. I noticed.
And all week long, I kept telling them, I said they're not going to want to. They're over there in their gym. They're not going to want to come down here and play in this. And I had that fed to our kids. And when they showed up, well, actually they sent a person down on Wednesday that walked our field.
Oh wow!
And I went over there to see who he was. And I'm from Wynnewood, and he worked for the school. So he went back, and I'm sure he gave negative reports, which I knew would plant a negative seed in their mind. And we were looking forward to that game Friday night. And it rained all day Friday, and when it come game time, the rain let up, and we were out there in warm-ups, and one of the power poles basically caught on fire.
Yeah.
And so we had no choice but to move the game to the next day. And, of course, they wasn't happy about it. They had to drive home and come back. And we had a lot of success, and our kids enjoyed, that was the kids all say it was their funnest game, and it was one of my favorite games ever too. And
yeah.
And I just remember being at the all-district meeting, and that coach kind of made the comment. He said, "You better be glad we didn't play Friday night." And I said, "No, you better be glad, because our kids were probably more prepared Friday night than they were
Saturday." Okay. So what did you break down with them for this year, and how does that look to close out?
Well, they've done a good job going out and getting kids from some other schools. They've got a really good running back they brought in there from Sulphur. They've grabbed some players from some other places. They have the Knighton kid's little brother that was at Pauls Valley, and he's a talent. Their skill kids are really, really good. Up front, I don't think they're as strong as Hobart was, and I kind of compare them to Frederick up front. So, we're going to do some things to try to take their weaknesses. The biggest part of our game is going to be trying to play keep away. I told our kids the other day, I want to limit the total possessions of the football game to 6 possessions. And if we can do that, we can give ourselves a chance. And, Stratford, when we came out in the third quarter against Stratford, we marched the ball and ate up almost 8 minutes off the clock.
Wow.
And those are the kind of drives that I told our kids that we need to have Friday night. If we can do that, we can give ourselves a chance to win.
Okay. All right. So Winnie Wood on the slate. And any final comments about the season? Because we'll kind of wrap it up and get ready to, see you next year.
Well, like I said, I'm so pleased with our kids and their response from what's happened this year and the inexperience and how far we've come. And I'd like to thank you guys. It's a great thing you guys do here to spotlight these kids and put the focus where it needs to be is on these kids and these communities, and we appreciate what y'all do.
Well, thank you, and thank you for taking the trip. So, all right. Walters Blue Devils, Coach Farron Griffin, and we are going to be back. We've got MacArthur, we've got Eisenhower, and we've got Cash all in the house. We got to talk to them, too, as we close out week number 10 in the regular season. We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere. Lawton's premier full-service garden center is Bedrock Nursery at 1802 Northwest 67th Street. Serving all of Southwest Oklahoma since 1994, they are your source for homegrown bedding plants and offer a wide range of services, including landscape design and installation. They are your full-service garden center. Bedrock Nursery, 1802 Northwest 67th Street in Lawton. Bedrock Nursery. Come see the difference.
All right, we're back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. Already talked to the Walters Blue Devils. We'll go right down the line. And now we get to the MacArthur Highlanders with Coach Brett Manning. And, Coach, just kind of give us a breakdown of last week. I know it was a lot of activity. I mean, it was senior night. We already talked about the seniors. You were able to play on your home field for the second time this season. You had Jamal Brown come. We had him up in the press box. We were glad that we could steal him away for a few minutes. Yeah. But he laughed jokingly. And I knew because I said, now, Jamal, none of these kids know who you are, right? He says, unbeknownst to me, my wife made a highlight tape, sent it so Coach could play it so they would actually know who I am outside of the name that's, Jamal Brown right up there. And they say, well, who's this Jamal Brown? In fact, we got to get that sign replaced, I think, eventually because the OU color is faded so much it's not even red anymore. I think it's dark brown.
Yeah, it sits out there in that west sun.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It gets a beat down with the elements. So you had all that, and we had an opponent that you knew, but had a little bit of talent. We got to see a little bit of that, but I'm sure that it was a great dress rehearsal to kind of get that in between the Newcastle and this big matchup with Bishop McGuinness. But what did you come away with that film there?
Yeah, I was really happy our kids went out and took care of business because Southeast, I'm honest with them. We tell them, what we're up against every week. And, we talked all week about, do they have a realistic chance to beat us? Probably not, but they are athletic and they can make us look bad if we don't take care of business. And we have the choice to make it a sloppy game or a game that we, look dominant. And I was proud of our kids because we really did take care of business. But, yeah, you're right. A lot of distractions, a lot of things I was not necessarily nervous about, but just, wanting to get them
behind.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Hosting at our field's a lot of work. And then, having Jamal there and getting him there to talk to our team and, hoping the announcement goes good and hoping senior night goes well. So a lot of things involved, a lot of distractions, and but we came out and played pretty well.
Well, he told us a little bit about in the press box, and you can go back and watch that, and then about what he talked to the team about, and it was really kind of nice about the maturity that he's gone through. and knowing the difference that when he was a player, he probably didn't do all the right things. And he said, I got humbled by, we knew he was a defensive lineman for MacArthur. He goes up to OU. They switch him to offense. And he says, that was very humbling because here I'm thinking I'm going to be this big defensive guy. And no, we're going to switch you over here. And so, be a team player. And Antonio Perkins was the same way. I mean, he was offensive guy his whole career. And they moved him up and made him play defense, and then he did special teams. But it was what else did Jamal come away with by telling the team when he spoke to you guys? He
was really good. He told them some of the things that he didn't do right as a high school kid. A little bit. I don't want to say selfish, but kind of out for himself. He just said how he wasn't a very good teammate, and he learned as he went through his career that's really the most important thing, and encourage them to be good teammates, take care of each other, and be out there for each other, because that's really what it's all about when it's all said and done. When you don't play anymore, you've got the relationships that you've built, and you want those to be good ones. So he was really good. He spent a lot of time with us and answered questions that he opened it up for questions, and everybody was kind of shy at first, and you get one here and there, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of people have their hands up, and he stayed and answered all the questions, and he was really good. It was good having him back.
Well, that's great because, a guy that plays at all three levels, he was a successful high school player, goes on to collegiate level at OU, so becomes an All-American, does what he does there. He goes to the NFL, plays with that. So, he kind of knows the different vantage points. Sure. So it's always good to have those guys back in the locker room, especially when they come back and give a little bit back to that community that they were raised with. Yeah. Okay, so you say, I'm going to put you on the hot spot a little bit. You say you're very realistic with your team and expectations about the opponent. So what did you tell them about this undefeated Bishop McGuinness team?
They're good. They're good. I feel like, and we'll see, but I feel like us and McGuinness and Newcastle are all very similar as far as how good we are. I told them I don't think we're better than McGuinness necessarily, but I don't think they're better than us either. I think that, a couple things go different in our game with Newcastle. We win that game. A couple things go different last week for Newcastle. They were within striking distance to beat McGuinness. I think it all is going to come down to who plays better, who has the better night, who stays away from penalties and turnovers, and I think we're all three pretty evenly matched.
Who makes the plays? Okay, we're going to save that part aspect of breaking down Bishop McGuinness. We got a couple of players with us, so grab the mic, give us your name, give us your grade, and what position you play.
Braxton Murray. I'm a junior, and I am a defensive end.
Okay, so you got a little bit of pressure, no outside contain. You kind of you got your work cut out for you. You got a seasoned quarterback here that can kind of do a little bit. Now, just use a little bit of film breakdown that he didn't really show much run until the latter part of this game against Newcastle when they needed it. So, are you going to be aware of his proximity and what he's going to be doing?
Yeah, I think we're just going to try to keep just him contained inside, but I see that he steps up a lot, so maybe just a spin move upside and we can make some tackles. He didn't move as much, so I think we could just contain him. We'll be in a good spot.
What's it like, you guys have this motto of, get back, it's just getting back to where MacArthur's used to be. You're in a position now, and we'll talk a little bit about this with Coach, is that, okay, right now, as it sits, you're kind of a third place, it looks like on paper, but if you beat Bishop McGuinness, it's a three-way tie for first place. Oh, and by the way, it goes down to points. We'll talk about those point stuff and what needs to happen, but what is the team going into this to, what kind of effort that you want to put forth to make sure that you guys are going to be on that top side of it?
I think just being locked in on film, that's where a bunch of mental mistakes are a bunch of things that we struggle with, and I feel like just the more physical team wins, we get told that every game. I feel like you just got to come off low and work hard this week at practice and watch your film, and we'll come out on top.
What's this year been for you personally? I mean, you've got some room to grow. You're not graduating. So what else would you like to capitalize and get better at?
So last year, I played middle linebacker last year, and I actually was back up on JV.
Yeah.
So coming here and getting varsity playing time and starting has been something just like such a good expectation for me. And I just grown so much, and I'm thankful for my coaches and for God and just being the opportunity to play. And I just feel like just keep working hard, just keep getting in that weight room and just play with everything I've got.
All right. Well, good luck to you on Friday.
Yes,
got another guy right next to you. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
I'm Aiden Pena. I'm a junior, and I play nose guard.
Okay, so you're really at it. Now, I will say this. I don't think, unless I'm wrong, you have not jumped off sides yet. And I'm not going to jinx that. Have you?
I've
One
jumped
time?
off a few times.
Few times, okay. Because I always say, when it comes to that, a lot of times they don't give a name or a number of who does it, and I say, especially the nose guard, you're right over it. There's nothing anticipating. It's a ball movement, and when you go, we go, So I always kind of rib the nose guards a little bit. You guys got a responsibility of that run stop up the middle. They're always trying to move you out of the way so they can get up there. So what is your biggest challenge at playing at nose?
I feel like it's really just fighting the reach and fighting the getting drove off and just staying in my gap is the most important thing I could do.
Going forward, how would you like to improve?
Just really staying low, not coming off as high and coming off hard and physical.
It's natural to stand up. I mean, everybody does. I mean, it's a mental and physical effort just to try to keep. You used to have those little gates you had to run under, to kind of make sure that you didn't stand right up.
Well,
to kind of, to make sure that you don't stand up because you'll get clotheslined by it, So it's always just a muscle memory thing of trying to stay low. What is your favorite food?
I feel like you can never go wrong with a Sonic cheeseburger or something like that.
Something simple. All right. What's your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Math, really?
Yes,
Are you good at it?
Yes, sir.
Comes naturally for you, huh?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean for you to be a Highlander?
It means everything to me. Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to play football, and being able to come out and start for a good program, it means the world.
And what does this Bishop McGinnis game mean to you? They're newer to our district. Last year was the first time you got some experience of playing them. You kind of knew them only by name only because they were over in that 5A2 district with Carl Albert and Guthrie all the time. Now they're over here with you guys. They come to your place, spoil it, lose your senior night last year. What are you looking to do to repay them back on Friday?
We're ready to go win. Go and beat them this week and give ourselves a good chance in the playoffs and go in state.
Okay, all right. So the MacArthur Highlanders coach, we're going to break down a little bit of Bishop McGinnis for us, what you saw in film, and then we'll talk about the scenarios of win, lose, or draw. What happens then? But what is Bishop McGinnis going to bring?
Well, they're really good up front on both sides of the ball. They've got a good offensive line. They've got defensive lines really good too, and they've got a couple of standouts. The Monagold kid is a really good player.
Got some Lawton roots.
Yeah. And I played with his dad in high school. Good family. But he's a standout. Other than him, they don't necessarily have any standouts, but they don't have any weak links either. I mean, they're very solid.
Solid, yeah. Okay, and then we'll give you the scenarios. The breakdown is pretty easy. I mean, we're in the playoffs, but you don't want to be stuck in that third position. And so basically between if you want to win, you cause a three-way tie, and it comes down to points. So basically it's simple math. If you win by 9, you bump Newcastle out of 2, and you're a second. If you win by 10, you're district champs. Man, how many times have you been in a three-way tie?
Yeah, it seems like a lot. Throughout the years, I don't know. I'd have to go back and I'd say, but at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, and that's why we're crucial to always educate the viewer about how important those 15 points are. Just like even Newcastle, when they play Southeast on Thursday, they're going to want to capitalize and get every one of those 15 points. So,
and it's like, at the end of the game against Newcastle, even though, we were down by 9, there wasn't a realistic chance of pulling out a win. They had the ball, and it was so important to stop them.
Right.
So we didn't lose 15. We only lost 9. So, those every district game is important.
Yeah, and Bishop McGinnis was playing Duncan, and they only had 9 points, I think, in that game. No, 11. I think it was 11. And 18 seconds left to go. Bishop McGinnis throws in the corner, and they get their maximum 15. Right. So it's just that's how this math works. Yep. You can see how important it is. Yep. Well, Coach, good luck to you, and we'll be there on Friday.
Appreciate it.
All right, we got Eisenhower, we've got Cash still yet to talk to you about as our coaches show continues live at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, we're back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We got 3 today coming in the white, wearing the Cash Bulldogs attire, and so we've got an exciting matchup that we're going to talk about. But, Coach, first and foremost, give us your breakdown of last week, what you liked, what you come away with, and what did you learn about this past week?
Yeah, we went into Douglas. And we talked to our kids about playing to our standard. That's being focused, being detailed with everything we do, being disciplined with everything we do, and then the kids just being their best every single play. Every play having its kind of being its own, and then getting back up the next play and being your best again. So that's what I challenged them to do last week, and I think during the first half we were a little bit sloppy. We turned the ball over 3 times, and that's just unacceptable. Not to the standard in which we play. And, I think we cleaned things up the second half and played pretty well.
Well, and then back-to-back wins. I mean,
right.
you got to – I mean, I know that it's kind of like unfortunate. You go this time of year and you go, man, if we, we tried to get them to buy into this. We had first-half leads. And, I know you don't play the what-if game, because that, gets you nowhere. But it's got to feel real good that they finally clicked. You beat a Clinton team that is going to probably end up in second in the district, so how it goes. But and then back-to-back wins, and then and then we'll talk about Elgin here in a second. But the program is heading in the right direction, and you got a lot of youth that is still going to come back yet too.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I told our seniors. I said, I talked to them yesterday about it, and I said, look, our program is elevating. You're not going to see the full benefit and kind of outcome from this season as much this year as you will next year.
Right.
And, I told our seniors, I said, I'm so proud of the way that, even when the ball didn't go our way the first couple games, we didn't put 4 quarters together, the first half of the season very much, and that hurt us, and that bit us in the butt, especially in our first couple district games. But one thing I did see is I saw our seniors show up and practice hard every single week. There was never the blame game. There was never them feeling sorry for themselves and kind of checking out. It was always back to work. Let's focus back up. Let's go attack this week, and let's see if we can get a win. So.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit about Elgin. We'll reserve that after we talk to some of the players, and then what your whole outtake was for this season. So the first player, grab the mic, give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
I'm Rhett Davis. I'm a sophomore, and I play inside wide receiver.
Okay, so how has that position been for you this year?
It's been good. I went from getting some reps to a lot of reps.
Okay, so you're showing coaches something. Let's talk a little bit about how much you campaign for the quarterback that you want the ball.
I campaign a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
You tell him, say, I got my guy beat, and coach has already called in a play, and, he's supposed to orchestrate that, but you want to convince him otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a wide receiver if I didn't hear that answer. Okay, how would you like to get better so you can get equipped better for next year?
I don't really know. Just keep on working hard.
Okay. What does this rivalry mean with you and the Elgin Owls? You got a little traveling trophy that goes with this, the Battle of the Wichitas.
Yeah. It means a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like if we go in there, do our best, we will get it.
Okay. All right. You got another player next to you. Give us your name. Give us your grade and what position you play.
I'm Jacoby Alonzo. I'm a freshman. I play wide out.
Freshman there. So, man, boy, your eyes get open real big in the beginning of the season to be in this role, but has the game slowed down a little bit where it's not as fast and it's not overwhelming at this point if you get week 10?
Yes, sir. Slow down a lot.
Okay, and how would you like to improve because you got 4 more years yet?
I would like to improve at just my route running, just beating the man off the start of my route.
Okay, but the microphone just a little bit closer to your mouth. What does it mean for you to be a Bulldog?
It means a lot. The standard, we show up to practice every day, giving the best that we have. Nobody goes halfway at practice. They all just give 100%.
Yeah. All right, you got one more player next to you. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Brett Cook, and I'm a freshman quarterback.
Okay, all right. So how has this freshman year been for you? A little eye-opening coming from –
it's been really good. I got to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, keep working at it, and coach has instilled some things. This season has kind of been better at the latter part of the season in the beginning. You kind of had to take some licks, but, what's it been like in the locker room to get that success, especially with back-to-back wins?
Yeah, locker room, it's been good. We got a lot of motivation going into games. We got a lot of preparation. Everyone's locked in.
Okay. Coach, we're going to go with the Elgin Owls, already district champions. I don't know how much you're going to see of their starters or not, but with a rivalry game, you're going to see a bunch of it anyway, so it's not like you're going to see anything different. You already know this. This is a rivalry as a player, as a coach, and, talk about the history of what this game means and then break down a little bit about what you've seen from them.
Right, Cash Elgin's been, a big rivalry, even since when I was in high school, and with them going 5A, things have changed a little bit, not as much as in the past, but it's still a big game. It's still a game everybody kind of circles on the calendar and they're excited about. So, our kids feel the excitement going in this game, being the Battle of the Wichitas. But,
yeah.
Like we talked about, it's kind of a process for us, and we want to go into each. I told them last week against Douglas, I said, I don't care if you're playing Douglas, Elgin, or somebody else. The standard's the standard. That's how we got to play. And each plays its own, and being your best each play, and you're doing it with great detail and focus and discipline. So, but this game, there's always excitement with it.
Yeah. Well, whether it's like an OU Texas or Michigan Ohio State, it's kind of on there. And then, it's named something because it's the Battle of the Wichitas. And then they came up with a traveling trophy, and I think that's spurred on with you and Altus have a trophy now, the Battle of the Dogs, So everybody's kind of creating this kind of atmosphere. I think makes it fun. It's going to be their senior night. Of course, they're going to pack the house, and I'm sure Cash will travel well too because this is a big game for both communities to make a statement.
For sure, yeah.
All right. Well, good luck to you on Friday, and we'll be there as well on the network starting at 6:30. We got the Eisenhower Eagles. They're coming up next. We're going to talk about their big matchup on a Thursday night, and the good news is they're going to be at their home stadium for the first time this year. Wow, how exciting is that? We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Firehouse Subs is stacked to satisfy. Every sub's piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and bold flavor in every bite. All served on a freshly toasted roll. Big portions, no shortcuts. Just crave-worthy subs made to truly satisfy. And at Firehouse Subs, every bite makes an impact. A portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders. Download the Firehouse Subs app and get up to $10 off your first order. Skip the line, stack the flavor, and support your local heroes. Only at Firehouse Subs. At participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid for 1 week after account registration. Additional terms apply.
Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, and we are live at 2nd Street, 104 Southwest 2nd Street. It's a place to be each and every Tuesday, and we've enjoyed our time. It seems like, man, just starting this in week 0, which was end of August, first start of September. Now we're the first part of November, and we have come down to the last regular season of the game, of the season. And so we've got Coach Barrett Matthews with us for the Eisenhower Eagles. And one thing's for sure, and I'm really excited for you guys because I get to see a little taste of it from MacArthur. You guys aren't going to be playing at Cameron on Thursday. You're going to be at your stadium. I know the kids have got to be pumped. They got to be psyched that, where they practiced and that eagle in the middle of that shield there is what they're representing. How exciting are they to play on this field?
I think they're very excited to play on the field. We practicing on it all year. So
yeah.
we're pretty familiar with the turf and everything like that. But alongside of that, we playing for something, playing for a first win, playing to go to the playoffs or whatever, and we playing to protect our home field.
Yeah.
Also, it's their first time playing what better way to open up a senior class, on their home field. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, a lot of historical things there, and you could make a lot of history. And it's great that it's a Thursday night, so it's kind of be highlighted there. And so we're excited to bring that to you. Take me through the course of, this is your first year of being coach. What have you learned most about this team, and what excites you about the future?
I mean, the willingness to learn, for one, the willingness to learn. They can learn a lot of X's and O's or whatever. It's just, the execution part or whatever. That's what we got to work on. That's what we're going to work on in the off season, and the grind don't stop. I just hate that some of these seniors couldn't be juniors.
Yeah.
And, it's a great group of guys that came through, and we're just going to keep on pushing the envelope.
What is the greatest improvement that you've seen from this team coming from week 0 all the way up till now?
The discipline. I think the discipline has picked up. They fell in order of what we're trying to accomplish for as, just being on time to lifting weights, being on time to class, having their grades up. I mean, we barely had anybody that failed this year. So the discipline, I think that was really picked up from what I'm hearing from last year.
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to save the U.S. Grant kind of match up the X's and O's. We're going to get to some of your players. So the first one, grab the mic, give us your name, and give us what grade and what position you play.
Ricky Womack. I'm a senior, and I play D-line.
Okay, all right. And we've seen you a little bit, too. I think you started off with our media day way back back in August there. Has this season flown by for you? I know coaches always say enjoy the senior season because, you're going to look up and it's going to be gone. But how have you taken this season in each and every week and each and every game? What's it been like for you?
Each week, I'll say we just getting better as a team.
Yeah.
Taking our losses as lessons, building up off of them, learning from our mistakes.
How have you been? You came really close, almost the biggest comeback of the year. I was glued to the TV. People were texting me. I was watching it, and I was there because it was an off day for me. And so I was watching it, and I was getting texts from a whole bunch of people said, "Are you watching this game?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'm glued to this game." But I mean, this close, man. I mean, it was phenomenal about your resilience. About what coach has seen is you didn't pack up the tent emotionally. You played all the way to 4 quarters and almost made it probably one of the biggest comebacks of the year on all of our schools. Taking that, how has your leadership been as a senior to really kind of get these underclassmen on the right path?
I'll just try to get them to know that we have the talent to produce as a team, but we just got to learn how to use the talent the right way.
Okay, and then what does this game mean to you, as a player playing on this field at Eisenhower for the very first time in school history?
It's a big moment to take in. I won't take it lightly for sure. Got to get us first time dub in history.
It'll be your senior night too, and so I know a lot of times there are a lot of emotions go in with that. It's like last time playing with a lot of these guys, but take it in stride. But as your leadership, what have you seen from U.S. Grant, and what are you guys going to have to do to get a win?
Play together.
Okay.
Keep our cool. Keep our head.
Play as a unit. Yeah, I'd say you got a little chippy there with that game that you had there. With it went back and forth with that, and we understand that. So that's good. Well, you got another player next to you. You give us your name, grade, and what position you are in.
My name is Deontay Johnson. I'm a senior, and I am a corner.
Okay, corner at senior for Ike, and tell me how excited you are to play your last regular season game on this field for the first time.
It is a big moment. It's a first-timer. I'll say I'm real happy to just be out there, play, and have a good night.
How much are you really wanting to prove, the city, your coach, that, you're not, and I don't expect you to lay down, but, I mean, to really fight for this first win, to get into a possible playoff scenario because 6A2 is divided up where they take 6 teams and not 4. A lot riding on this, a lot to play for this. So tell us from your vantage point how you're going to go into this game.
First, I just want to lock in, start the week off right, practice well, get everything down, and just keep my head in the game all game. Don't try to come out the game, stay in the game the whole game.
Yeah, it's a couple of days away since it's a Thursday, kind of a short week. You got one more player there, so he can grab the mic. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Lawton Clark. I'm a senior at Eisenhower High School, number 3, and I'm an athlete. I play all around.
Okay, all right. So you go where Coach needs you, huh? Okay, so you're going to go in there. That's multitasking. You have to wear a lot of many hats. Yes, I like your hat too, by the way. Where did you get that Eisenhower blue, man? That's nice.
Yes, sir. I got it from Academy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They got the right colors in there, right?
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I've asked the others. I'm going to ask you too, as a senior. It is historic. You got to give it to LPS to make this thing happen. To give you a great artificial turf to play on, to give you some bleachers, to give you a press box in there. A lot of people are going to be watching it, for that sake too. But what is it going to mean for you to play on this field as a senior, to kind of go on senior night, to be where you've practiced all season long?
Well, it's definitely a big moment coming into the season, coming to an end on the season. It'll be like around 30, 40 years since we've last played on our home field.
Yeah, wow.
So it's definitely a big moment, and I just feel like if everybody come out, we can all compete with these guys.
Yeah, we want to
come out with the W.
Pack the stands too, and this is going to be nice. And I'm going to give you my vantage point. While I've got to see MacArthur do this as Cameron. There's a big buffer between the fans and you. This is going to be close. I mean, the fans are going to be a lot closer. They're going to, they're going to feel that energy. You're going to feel that energy. So we encourage everybody to come out and just pack the house. And it's a historic night for Eisenhower to close out the season. What's your favorite food?
I'm more of a chicken Alfredo type of guy.
Oh, really? And where's the best place to get it?
I'll say probably Olive Garden.
Okay. And what does it mean for you to be an Eagle?
Well, for it to be an Eagle, you definitely got to have a lot of for me, it means, having integrity, grit.
Yeah.
Just a good work ethic. And,
yeah. Okay, well, good luck to you on Thursday and all you seniors. Congratulations on all your efforts of what you put forth. Coach, break down this, you got an interesting matchup because kind of evenly matched with Grant when you look at them on paper and then when you look at that. What else did you come away with, and what is the X's and O's? What are you going to have to do to get a win on Thursday?
We got to start off fast. We can't be a second-half team. I mean, that's how we scored 28 on extra points against North Clawson. So we just got to start off fast. Tell you guys every time we got to start off fast. They ain't going to lay down for us or whatever just because the record looking the way it is. I just feel like, with these guys or whatever, the energy got to be there. Being like, as we said previous time before, that we're going to play at home at our home stadium, and our fans and, and the community expecting us to win so we can go and represent them in the playoffs. And whatever happens in the playoffs because it's a new season.
Yeah.
But just to spark plug these guys in, you're going to see some new faces on the field that we probably haven't used all season, but they're going to be ready to go. And we're using a lot of freshmen. So this is a perfect opportunity for kids to grow up when they play this game. Freshmen, they're not freshmen anymore. They're going to be sophomores.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and
going to be seniors.
You can take the page that Coach Reed's son is a freshman at Altus, and he's just lighting it up. So you can encourage them to say, hey, you can show your abilities. It's just don't make your grade define who you are.
Sure.
So what is Grant going to bring in when you broke down them? What are they going to look like offensively and defensively?
A lot of experience on their side of the ball. I mean, they seniors want to win, and I believe they make it to the playoffs. It's going to be a long time since they ever made it to the playoffs. So,
okay.
I know they bring a lot of experience. I know them kids going to be fighting to win. They come a long way, and I just want our kids to come out with a higher energy to them. So, cause I know they're going to come with them energy. I know they're going to come with the energy.
Well,
they look very energized on film. And, I know they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, it's a lot to play for, So it's going to be Thursday at Eisenhower. So don't load up the car and go to Cameron and say there's nobody here. I'm the only one in the parking lot. I've had that happen once before. So I said, no, we're not there. So you're going to come over there to Eisenhower on Thursday night, senior night. We'll start our broadcast at 6:30 and then 7 o'clock for the kickoff.
Yes,
well, Coach, good luck to you on Friday. We'll all be Thursday. We'll all be watching.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to close things out at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We'll take one more time out and be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Firehouse Subs is stacked to satisfy. Every sub's piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and bold flavor in every bite. All served on a freshly toasted roll. Big portions, no shortcuts. Just crave-worthy subs made to truly satisfy. And at Firehouse Subs, every bite makes an impact. A portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders. Download the Firehouse Subs app and get up to $10 off your first order. Skip the line, stack the flavor, and support your local heroes. Only at Firehouse Subs. At participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid for 1 week after account registration. Additional terms apply.
Well, back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, we're going to close things out for this edition of the Coaches Show. And of 13 schools, it looks like at this vantage point, we'll have 8 schools entering playoffs next week. 8 of the 13. That's pretty good. And we want to congratulate all of our teams on their seasons. Some that unfortunately will close out after their 10th regular season play. But we'll have host all of those games up for playoffs starting next week. But, you know, you want to download our app on Apple and Android devices. You can search Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us on all social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, whether it be X, or whether it be Instagram. That way you'll know what we've got coming up, if there's any changes, because we've had 2 changes already from this week's schedule. Newcastle is going to be playing on Thursday, so they move that game. Jones is going to move to Thursday, so they move that game. And Eisenhower is already slated to play on Thursday for their senior night, as we said historically, at Eisenhower's Field. And that should be an exciting night as well. A lot to play for. A possibility as a playoff chance. Senior nights playing there at their field. And Grant's going to be playing for the same things, you know, so everything's up for grabs. You love week 10s when there's a lot to go with. Told you about the Bishop McGinnis-MacArthur matchup. Elgin has already won the district, but then they've got Cash. So there's a lot to play for with Pride and everything else that goes with it. So we're going to be back next week at least, because we know we've got one playoff team for sure that will be here at the Coaches Show at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, 104 Southwest 2nd Street. If you've not been here before, great food, great barbecue. All this stuff made in-house. It's just, we could go on and on about their food. You just need to come and give it a try, whether it be lunch or for dinner. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Want to thank them for their fine hosting all this year. And we'll be back next week, same time, 6 o'clock for the Coaches Show right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.